Love x Revenge brings you a story where pride meets vulnerability, where a plan to walk away turns into a lifetime decision, and where one unexpected moment of laughter changes everything forever. He checked his watch for the third time in under a minute. 5 minutes. That was the deal he made with himself. Arman Khan, CEO of a billion-dollar tech empire, had attended more blind dates than he could count, not because he wanted to, but because his mother insisted. Each one had ended the same way: polite smiles, hollow conversations, and a quiet exit. Tonight would be no different. He sat in the corner of an elegant rooftop restaurant, the city lights glowing beneath him like scattered diamonds. Everything about him was sharp: his suit, his gaze, his reputation. People knew him as ruthless, efficient, untouchable, and completely uninterested in love. "She's late," he muttered under his breath, already reaching for his phone. Perfect excuse to leave early. Sorry, I'm late." The voice came rushing in before the person did, breathless, unfiltered, and oddly warm. Arman looked up. She stood there, slightly out of breath, clutching her bag like she had just run a marathon. A few loose strands of hair had escaped her messy bun, framing a face that wasn't perfect, but alive. Bright, real. "I got off at the wrong floor," she said, laughing at herself. "Then I walked into a private party, and someone offered me cake, which I almost accepted. By the way, huge mistake, I know." Arman blinked. This was not what he expected. "You're Arman, right?" she asked, finally catching her breath. "Yes, I'm Zara." She extended her hand. He hesitated for a second before shaking it. Her grip was warm, confident. Not nervous, not pretending, just herself. He checked his watch again. 4 minutes left. "Please sit," he said, his tone neutral. "Thanks," she replied, dropping into the chair across from him. "Wow, this place is fancy. I feel like I should have Googled how to act rich before coming." Arman frowned slightly. Was she joking? "I assume you've been here before," she continued. "You look like someone who owns places like this." "I don't," he said. "Good," she smiled, "because then I'd be nervous about spilling water." Despite himself, the corner of his mouth twitched. He hid it quickly. "So," he said, folding his hands. "What do you do?" "I teach kids," she replied. "Primary school, chaos management, mostly." "That doesn't sound very ambitious." "Oh, it is," she said instantly. "You try controlling 27-year-olds after lunch. That's harder than running a company." He raised an eyebrow. There was no defensiveness in her tone, just confidence. "And you?" she asked. "I run a company." "Wow," she said, leaning forward. "That sounds exhausting." "It is. Do you at least like it?" He paused. No one had asked him that in a long time. "It's necessary," he said finally. Zara tilted her head, studying him. "That's not the same thing." He didn't respond. 3 minutes left. The waiter arrived, and she ordered without hesitation. "The cheapest coffee," she said cheerfully. "In case this goes badly." Arman almost choked. "You're very honest," he said. "Is that bad?" "It's unusual." "Well," she shrugged, "I figured if we're both forced to be here, we might as well be real." "Who said I'm forced?" She smiled knowingly. "Your face did." For the first time that evening, Arman let out a quiet laugh. A real one. And something shifted. 2 minutes left. "So," Zara said, stirring her coffee absent-mindedly, "what's your plan?" "You look like a leave in 5 minutes kind of guy." He froze. "How did you?" "Because I almost didn't come," she admitted. "Blind dates are awkward. People pretend too much. And you don't." "I tried once," she said. "It was exhausting. So now I just show up as me. If they don't like it, I save time." Arman leaned back, studying her. "No filters. No games. No hidden agenda. Why did you come tonight then?" he asked. She smiled softly. "Hope," she said simply. The word hit him harder than expected. 1 minute left, he thought. But he didn't look at his watch this time. Instead, he asked, "What are you hoping for?" She thought for a moment. "Someone who listens," she said. "Someone who doesn't make me feel like I have to earn their attention." Her eyes met his. "And you?" she asked. He opened his mouth, then closed it. What was he hoping for? He had everything: power, money, respect. But this question, I don't know, he admitted quietly. Zara smiled again, but this time it was softer. That's okay, she said. Most people don't. 5 minutes passed, then 10, then 30, and Armin didn't leave. They talked about everything: her students, his work, her love for old movies, his dislike for unnecessary conversations. She told him about the time a kid in her class declared himself the king of snacks. He found himself laughing harder than he had in years. You laugh like you don't do it often, she teased. I don't, he replied honestly. Well, we should fix that. The words were simple, but they stayed with him. Hours passed like minutes. For once, Armin wasn't checking his watch. He wasn't thinking about emails, deals, or deadlines. He was just there with her. When the night finally came to an end, the city had quieted, and the restaurant was nearly empty. Zara stood up, adjusting her bag. Well, she said, this was surprisingly nice. Surprisingly, he echoed. Yeah, she grinned. I thought you'd leave in 5 minutes. He hesitated. I planned to. I know. They stood there, an unspoken pause between them. Can I see you again? He asked suddenly. The question surprised even him. Zara looked at him, searching his face. No pretending, she asked. No pretending. She smiled. Then yes. Something inside him settled. For the first time in years, Armin felt certain. Weeks turned into months. What started as one unexpected date became many. Zara didn't change him overnight. She didn't try to. But slowly, naturally, she brought color into his structured, monochrome world. She made him laugh. She challenged him. She reminded him that life wasn't just about control, it was about connection. And Armin, the man who once planned to leave after 5 minutes, found himself staying longer each time. Not out of obligation, but because he wanted to. One evening, months later, they returned to the same rooftop restaurant. Same table, same city lights. Zara looked around, smiling. Full circle, she said. Armin nodded. I almost walked away that night. I know. He reached for her hand. I'm glad I didn't. She squeezed his hand gently. Me too. There was a quiet moment between them, filled with everything they didn't need to say. You know, she added playfully, you still look like someone who owns this place. He smirked. And you still look like someone who'd accept cake from strangers. Only if it's chocolate. He laughed again. That same rare, genuine laugh. The kind that had started it all. And in that moment, under the same sky where it began, Armin realized something simple but powerful. He hadn't just stayed for a date. He had stayed for her. Forever.